Hello and welcome everybody to our August 2023 ACA Roundup webinar. As always, we really appreciate you guys coming out and joining us today. I just wanted to start really quick and just mention that, as you can probably see, I do not have my camera on. We had some tech difficulties over here with the webcam, so just to play it safe and avoid any potential issues, I'm going to leave my camera off this month. Sorry about that, but hopefully we'll have everything set. Just wanted to play it safe since, there's a storm coming through. Want to make sure we're optimizing everything. So without any further ado, go ahead and get started. As always, just generally the overview of these webinars. We've been doing them every month to cover industry news, other important updates that we want agents to be aware of. As in the past, the webinar slides will be sent out to everyone who registered as soon as the webinar is over. And if you have any questions during the presentation, you can submit them at the Q&A area on the left side of your screen. We will get all your questions and answer them via email, and then we'll post the Q&As with the webinar slides and recording on the agent portal either this afternoon or tomorrow. Let's go ahead and dive right into some industry news. First up, something that I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of, and that's the Georgia state-based exchange reversal. Again, as I'm sure a lot of you have already seen, CMS has denied approval for Georgia to operate as a full state-based exchange for open enrollment 2024. CMS did, however, grant conditional approval for Georgia to operate as a state-based exchange on the federal platform for open enrollment 24, but said that they could not jump directly to a state-based exchange. So for agents, this means that for the upcoming open enrollment, you will not need to complete the Georgia Access Certification training. Georgia requirements are going to remain the same as any other FFM state for this year, so just need to be licensed in the state and to have your FFM certification. If you have already completed or plan to complete the Georgia Access Certification training, fortunately, you will be able to roll that over your certification to plan year 2025, and you'll also receive 3 CE credits. So if you've already done it, at least you will get that out of it. But for the time being, agents will continue to enroll Georgia consumers in their health plans, just as you currently do, so through Health Sherpa or through healthcare.gov, and Georgia is not going to transition to a state-specific platform for enrollment quite yet. Georgia has indicated that they plan on fully transitioning to their own state-based exchange for open enrollment 2025, so definitely want to be aware of that and keep an eye out. Agents do have the option to complete the Georgia Access Certification training in preparation for OEP 2025, but you're not required to do that until next year. So you can get a head start, but you do not have to. And I just have some resources for everybody in case you need to check it out. Got a link to the Georgia Access website, FFM guides for returning agents and new agents. We have a copy of the update email that Georgia Access sent out to everybody, as well as CMS's letter and Georgia's response letter if you need to view those. Next up is the Virginia state-based exchange. We talked about this in a previous webinar. On July 28th, Virginia Exchange's learning management system sent out about 4,000 emails, they said, to all exchange agents with information on the Virginia certification training. So if you're licensed in Virginia and you did not receive an email with an invitation to the training or the certification, go ahead and email marketplace@scc.virginia.gov. and then they can help you out and get an invitation sent to you and make sure you're set up on their platform. Just so you know, though, before you do it, each agent must have a unique email address that'll be your username and a unique mobile phone number that can receive text for authentication purposes. You'll need both of those in advance in order to create your account on their exchange system. So FFM certified agents who have already completed the 2023 FFM certification will be eligible for a shorter training program for 2024, along with some Virginia-specific modules. If you're a new agent, though, you will be required to complete the entire training. And then for the creation of your agent account in the new Virginia Insurance Marketplace platform, calling it. They said that it is critical that you complete and submit the required agent information form, which is linked right here on the screen. They ask that everybody submit that no later than September 7th. If you need help completing the form or have any questions or issues, you can email exchangeagents@scc.virginia.gov. But they have said that if you do not complete the form by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on September the 7th, then you will have to manually build your own book of business once they manually create your account, which is just a bit more work. So all things considered, go ahead, try to fill out that form before the 7th and finish that training up. They've also said that to ensure you're ready to sell on November 1st at the beginning of open enrollment, you should complete the training by October the 10th. Agents can certify anytime throughout the year, but they've just said there's going to be an influx. So if you want to be ready by the beginning of open enrollment, you should aim to have everything completed by the 10th of October. Then again, I've just got some resources for you. Another link to that form, the login for Virginia's Insurance Marketplace Learning Management System. That's what you'll log into once you have your username and password. We also have Virginia's agents and brokers information page that has copies of the emails, information on the registration and the training, as well as a link to their agent FAQs. Next up, something we've gotten a lot of questions about, Oscar Florida sales. So got an update for that. Fortunately, Oscar is now available in Florida for 9/1 effective date policies on. We've gotten a few questions about it, so I did want to mention as well that all Oscar policies written in Florida are commissionable. So they're back in Florida. You can go ahead and start selling them again, and you should be getting paid commissions on those policies. I also wanted to touch on Molina's new broker portal. So as well, I'm sure you guys are already aware, Molina's new broker portal for agents went live on Tuesday, August 15th. Their new system is going to allow you to access not only the producer portal, your profile information, and manage your book of business, but you're also going to be able to submit requests on behalf of your members for their replacement ID cards or primary care physician changes. You'll be able to do all of that right through the new Molina broker portal. They have said if you have not used Evolve NXT, which is the platform they're using, if you've not used it for any other carriers, you should have received an activation password email from Molina. The email address is on screen, and that email is going to have your user ID and then a temporary password as well. If you have used Evolve NXT platform for any other carriers, some other carriers that use it are Friday and Christus. So if you've already used it with them, then you should be able to use the same login credentials to access the new Molina portal. So go ahead, try to log in there, play around with it, try to learn a little bit about it. If you're not able to get into the Molina portal though, go ahead and call Molina's broker services team at the number that is right here on the screen for you. Also wanted to mention as well, if you have not already attended one of their live portal training sessions, there is one more taking place this Thursday, August 31st, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just wanted to mention that again. It is 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so a little later on the East Coast. The training sessions that they're putting on demonstrate how you can use the new broker portal, the new features of it, and just giving you a look around. And I would say that it is highly recommended for all agents who are contracted with Molina. So if you've not already attended one, I would recommend that you go ahead and register through the link on the screen and attend that to learn a little bit more about it. And if you are unable to attend, we do have their training slides available on the O'Neill Marketing Agent portal. But just to say that if you have not attended it and you can, I would still recommend it because they have a lot of great information there. And the last thing about this I wanted to mention is that they have said that their old Molina broker portal will be accessible until the end of the day on September 1st, at which time your login will no longer work. So this is the old portal on the View platform. So just make sure if you need anything from the View portal that you have it done by the end of September 1st, or else you are going to be locked out. Moving on, I have some Health Sherpa updates for everybody. We're going to start with some of their updated consent tools for agents. So in early August, Health Sherpa released some new tools that allow agents to upload clients' consent documentation either within the application workflow or from their agent dashboard. What Health Sherpa will do is they will store the consent documentation in each client's record for the 10 years that are required by CMS. I do want to point out, however, that Health Sherpa does not provide the consent forms to the client. So they're not going to send a form to the client for the client to sign. That still has to be done by the agent prior to accessing the marketplace data. But what Health Sherpa will do for you is they have some forms available for you that are pretty clear and easy to use, and then they will store your consent documentation right on the agent page for the 10 years required by CMS. So still very, very useful. So if you need more information on their consent tools, how to use them, I would recommend that you look at the Health Sherpa Consent How-To article, which is linked right here. It's a really great article. It goes over all their systems, and then it also has downloadable consent forms that you can use for your clients. I know CMS has some as well, but now Health Sherpa has made their own versions available. Very useful. So if you haven't checked that out already, would highly recommend you do so. I've just got some screenshots here of what that's going to look like on your Health Sherpa profile. So on the left side of your screen, that is what it will look like in the enrollment process. So that is the last page right before you enroll a client in the plan. They have highlighted in the middle the consent area that they've added. And so as you can see, just right before you finish up the enrollment, it'll ask how you would like to maintain proof of consent. And you have the option to upload your consent files to Health Sherpa, where they will store them with the client data for 10 years. You can also select and say that I already have proof of consent in my own records. Health Sherpa will do nothing, and then it'll just be on you to get that consent and maintain it. Or you can also choose to upload the consent files later, and then you can do it at a later time from the client page. So you'll be able to see that now on the plan selection page right before you finalize everything. And then on the right side of the screen, you'll see what it looks like in the clients page. As you can see, pretty similar. They just added a new section on there for consent records. Got the method, the collection date, consent status, and then you can see the file on there as well. So that'll be how you can upload and manage some of your clients' consent, and you can keep it all right on Health Sherpa, so it's easy to find and easy to manage. Next up is some Health Sherpa updates regarding payment information for policies. So Health Sherpa is beginning to include payment information for some clients' policies. They'll have that right on the platform. So you're going to start to notice some changes in the terms that they use to note policy status on the dashboard and clients pages. I'm going to describe them below, but just know I do also have some additional screenshots on the next slide to show you what you will actually see. So first up, instead of action needed, the platform is going to display unpaid binder when it needs to indicate that a consumer has not paid their first binder payment. Then upon payment of the binder, the status will change to paid binder, and that's opposed to what it used to say, which was effectuated. There are also going to be two new status options added to the payment filter drop-down menu. So you're going to see two new options. The first one is going to say paid, which will denote when a monthly payment is current. And then there'll also be past due, which, as you can imagine, is when a monthly payment is late. Important thing to know, though, is that only consumers with health plans from carriers who are going to be providing Health Sherpa with a daily policy status data feed will appear in the search filter. So it will not be all carriers, only the carriers that are willing to provide Health Sherpa the daily data that they need to update the payment information. Health Sherpa said that carrier integrations are expected to begin in October, so I am sure they will have more information for us once that comes. And again, just some screenshots of the changes that you'll see. On the left-hand side, you can see on the dashboard the new payment statuses. It'll say paid, past due, paid binder, etc. Then on the right-hand side, you can see the filtering options, just that paid and past due are going to be added as new options for filtering your clients. And then the last up on the Health Sherpa updates is just an update on the FFM integration with Health Sherpa. So new clarification from CMS has indicated that no data on the EDE platform can be available to an agent if an agent's integration has expired. So what that means is that beginning this week, agents whose FFM integration has expired on Health Sherpa are only going to see a notice to integrate their FFM. The rest of the dashboard is going to be blank until your FFM is integrated. So just wanted to note that, because if you log in and your FFM is not up to date, you're not going to be able to see pretty much any client information until you integrate that. Health Sherpa and CMS have said that agents must integrate their accounts in order to view and service their clients on Health Sherpa. Agents who do not integrate their accounts can choose to manually import their clients from their own CRM. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's much easier to just integrate your FFM account. It only has to be done every 30 days, much easier than manually moving all the clients over. So I would just say, make sure you are logging on to Health Sherpa and updating your integration every few weeks so that you don't have that happen when you log on next time. Next up, got some O'Neill marketing news for you. First up are updates from our contracting team. First and foremost, we did want to say, if you have any transfer requests, you should be submitting those immediately, as soon as humanly possible. If you need a transfer, put them in really, just truly as soon as you possibly can. Carriers are going to begin blackout periods as early as September 1st. So just a few days left. If you get it in before September 1st, they should still be able to process it, but a lot of carriers are going to start to close up transfers on September 1st. So if you need a transfer and you have not started that yet, go ahead, request that transfer, try to get the paperwork filled out as soon as you can, or if you already have one pending, get that paperwork filled out and submitted as soon as humanly possible so that you do not miss the cutoff for that. And just in general, contracting team says to submit any appointment request as soon as you can. Transfers are maybe a little bit more immediate, but just all appointment requests, go ahead and put those in just as soon as you can. Carriers are experiencing really high volumes of contracting requests nowadays, and it's probably just going to get worse the closer we get to open enrollment. And a lot of carriers are having delays in processing and sending invitations. So essentially, some carriers must send the invitations themselves. That means that O'Neill Marketing can't send it directly to you. So for those carriers, we are seeing significant delays in invitation sending, plus delays in processing once the onboarding is submitted. So some of these carriers are taking upwards of 1 month to process your appointment request after you have submitted it to them. So just to say, even if it's a new appointment, go ahead and put it in as soon as you can so that we can get that wrapped up before open enrollment starts. Put them in as early as possible, and then even more important, once you put them in, be sure to follow up on the contracting paperwork as soon as you receive it. If you have any questions or you experience any issues, reach out to contracting@o'neillmarketing.net and they can help you out with that. And just in general, we wanted to say to make sure you're receiving emails from O'Neill Marketing. We've been sending out emails that contain some important information about contracting updates and any carrier updates. So if you're not receiving those emails from O'Neill Marketing, please go ahead and contact our support team. You can email support@o'neillmarketing.net or call us at 813-489-4156, and we can take a look at it for you. And just in general, one last note here is that we will be moving away from using O'Neill Marketing NPNs or overrides. So it is just really crucial that you make sure to get any appointments that you need as soon as possible. Generally speaking, if there are any carriers that you're currently writing or planning to write, you should get that appointment yourself and plan to write it under your own NPN or the NPN of someone in your agency. Also wanted to touch on a few other carrier updates. First up, Christus contracting for 2024 is open. Did want to note this though, because agents who were previously contracted with Christus are still going to need to reappoint to sell plan year 2024 Christus policies. So if you're currently contracted with Christus, you should have received an email or will be receiving one from contracting@O'Neill Marketing with reappointment instructions there. If you have not received that and you want to get started, go ahead and email contracting@o'neillmarketing.net and they will be more than happy to help you out. Next up, Molina blackout period ended on August the 15th. So contracting is now open for new appointments and transfers. Go ahead, put in those Molina requests now if you have not already, and we'll be able to get started on them. Also wanted to note that we are now offering appointment appointments with AFLAC. I mentioned this last time, but just wanted to circle around on it. AFLAC has a lot of really great ACA add-ons, ACA gap plans, and other supplementary plans. So if that's something you're interested in selling, go ahead and request that appointment on the agent portal, and we can get it started for you. It's going to be a great carrier to pair with your ACA plans during open enrollment, so I would encourage everybody to look into that. Last thing I wanted to note here is that Ascension, or U.S. Health and Life, is requiring agents to sign an updated producer agreement by November 1st. So you should have already received the updated agreement in an email from the carrier. If you didn't receive this email already, go ahead and contact Ascension's broker support. They have said, though, if this is not completed by November the 1st, then agents' 2024 commissions may be jeopardized. So go ahead, try to see if you've already gotten that email. And if you haven't, or you can't find it, go ahead and contact them sooner rather than later so you can get that taken care of. Also wanted to note some of the carrier expansions that have been released so far. So far, we know that UHC is adding 4 new states effective August 1st. That's New Jersey, New Mexico, South Carolina, and Wisconsin. Aetna is also adding 5 new states. That's going to be Indiana, Ohio, Maryland, Kansas, and Utah. Additionally, Cigna is expanding into 15 new counties in North Carolina. Those new counties span the greater Charlotte, Winston-Salem, and Wilmington areas. And then also Molina is expanding into Nevada. Again, their blackout periods ended, so go ahead and get those contractings in. And then Health First is expanding to 5 new counties in Florida. As always, we anticipate that further expansions are going to be announced by carriers in the coming weeks and months. Best way to keep up to date on that is to make sure that you are receiving emails from O'Neill Marketing and the carriers, because they will send out emails to agents with this information as it becomes public. We're also creating a carrier updates page on o'neillmarketing.net. That'll just be a hub for all updates from carriers as new information is announced. Have some other heat maps and good stuff on there for you as well. This is going to be going live in the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for there. That'll be a great resource for this information as well. And then just wanted to mention lastly that we will be posting updated heat maps, product availability charts, anything the carriers provide to us, be posting on the agent portal as they become available. You can go into your agent portal, go to the agent resources tab, go to the public folder, and then into the carrier information section to find all of this, and we'll be updating it as new stuff is released. Wanted to mention as well the new commission statements tab on the agent portal. The statements for commissions that have been paid through Calidus are now live on the agent portal. You're going to see a new tab that's been created for pre-July 2023 commissions. That's just for all the old statements that were run through the previous software. Those old statements will still be available on the agent portal in that tab. I'm going to demonstrate this for you guys a little bit later in the presentation, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, but just wanted to mention that up front. Commissions were paid through Calidus starting in early July, so those commissions are now going to be on the new statements tab. The important changes to note, again, I will be demonstrating all of this in a second, but just going to note it down right here. So important changes, the statement periods are now broken down by week instead of by month. The reasoning for this is that we are now with Calidus able to pay out commissions on a weekly basis instead of having the carriers lump them into months. So we're paying out commissions each week as they come in. So you're going to see that difference, that they're broken down by week instead of month. And then the other big difference is that only agents and agencies that are payees will be listed as options on that statement tab. So if an agent is LOA to their agency and their commissions are all paid to their upline, that agent will not appear in the payee agent menu. And then the same applies to LOA agencies. If an agency's commissions are paid to an upline agency, that agency will not appear as a menu option. And I will demonstrate this in just a sec so you can see. Wanted to mention too some of the upcoming carrier webinars that O'Neill Marketing is going to be putting on. First up is September 13th at 2 p.m. We'll be hosting a webinar with United Health One. Then September 19th at 2 p.m. we're going to do a webinar with Ameritas Dental and Vision. And then on September 28th, again at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be doing a webinar with CareSource. That's just a start. There are definitely going to be more carrier webinars to come. I'm going to be hosting carrier webinars with all the major ACA carriers before open enrollment. So stay tuned for that. They're going to be great webinars. We're really looking forward to them. We're going to make some further announcements by email as these webinars are set. So again, make sure you're receiving emails from O'Neill Marketing or checking the webinars page on our website. Last thing I wanted to mention is our next ACA Roundup webinar. The next Roundup webinar is scheduled for Thursday, September 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to go ahead and register, there is a link right here on this slide, and go ahead and make sure to mark your calendars. We're looking forward to seeing you guys again next month to do it all over. All right, so I want to move into the presentation section today, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be showing you guys the new agent portal statements tab and all the differences that I just mentioned. So right here, I'm on the home page of our agent portal. First thing that you're going to see, as I mentioned, is that there is a new tab for the old pre-July 2023 statements. If you click into here, you're going to see the same page that you used to see. As it used to be, the statements are broken down by month instead of by week. So you'll just select the month for the old statements. You can select all carriers or select the specific carriers that you'd like. And then a big difference, though, is that in the old, again, the old pre-July 2023 statements, you're going to see all downline agencies and all downline agents listed. So no matter if these agents are paid directly or if they're LOA, on the old statements, you are still going to see all agents listed by name. So you can select the agencies and then all the agents that you want, and then run a report, and it'll download a CSV file for you. But I want to move on now to the new statements tab. It's just this statements right up top on the drop-down menu. That's going to bring you to this new commission statements page. Looks very similar on the just first glance, but there are a few important differences that I really wanted to point out to everybody. First, as I mentioned earlier, as you can see, the periods are broken down by week instead of by month. You can still combine the statements though. So if you wanted everything paid out in August, you could go ahead and select all of those, and they'll be included on one commission statement file for you. As with the old one, you can still select to include all carriers or select the specific carriers that you would like to be included on the statement. And then here is the big difference that we've gotten the most questions about, and that's the payee agencies and payee agents. So as you can see, it's not the same options for agencies or for agents. And to make this a little more clear, I want to hop over to our agency management page just to show you the layout here. So this is a testing agency that we use for demonstrations. In this agency, Huge Sales Inc. is the top of the hierarchy. Huge Sales has two sub-agencies, Health Matters LLC and Underling Insurance Sales. Both Health Matters and Underling Insurance Sales both have their commissions paid directly to the agency. So they are not LOA to Huge Sales Inc. But Underling Insurance Sales has a downline agency underneath them called Down and Out Healthcare. Down and Out is LOA to Underling. So all of Down and Out's commissions are paid to Underling Insurance Sales, and that'll be important in just a sec. So just a quick overview, Huge Sales is at the top, Health Matters and Underling are sub-agencies under Huge Sales, and then Down and Out is LOA to Underling. Health Matters and Underling Insurance Sales both have commissions paid directly to them. So now knowing that, let's go back over to here. And so first up, you will see that the only options are Huge Sales, Health Matters, and Underling Insurance Sales. Again, that is because Down and Out has their commissions paid directly to Underling Insurance Sales. So Down and Out commission statements will be included on the Underling Insurance Sales commissions tab here. Kind of a similar setup to what a lot of other agencies have. So that's just important to know. If they are not getting paid out directly, they will not be an option. Their commissions will be included on the statement for whoever they are paid to. And then the same for the payee agents, since all but one of the agents in these agencies are LOA to their respective agencies. You'll see that there is not the same list of options that we used to have, right? On this one, we had all of these other agents available, whereas on the new tab, we only see Chuck. The reason for that is because Chuck is unique and Chuck has his commissions paid directly to him, but all other agents in these agencies are LOA to their upline. So that being said, if you wanted statements for all the agencies, you would pull it like this, and just remember that down and out is included in underling insurance sales because that's where the commissions are paid to. And then if you want commissions for all the agents, everyone who is LOA will be included in their agency statement. And if they are an option in the payee agents, that means that they are having the commissions paid directly to them. If there are any overrides, that'll still be paid to the agency, but we have them listed so that those agents can pull their own commission statements, or you can pull statements for what is paid directly to their downline agent. But that's just the important thing to note. If you don't see agents or agencies on here, most likely it is going to be because they are LOA to an upline agent or agency, and their commissions are being paid to them. And in that case, their commission statement will be included on their upline agency statement that they can pull from the agent portal. And then lastly, once you're done with all that, as always, you go ahead and just click Run Report. That will download a .csv file to your computer that will have all of the commission statements on there. And as always, if you have any questions about this, or you run into any issues, or you're seeing any glitches or anything that is causing an issue for you, feel free to email either support@O'Neill Marketing and or commissions@O'Neill Marketing, and we'll be happy to help you out and see how we can get it working for you. Or if you need some help, reach out to our support team and we can help walk you through this, make sure that you understand how everything is working. All right, folks, so that is going to bring us to the end of our August Roundup webinar. As always, you guys, we really appreciate you guys coming out and joining us today. If you need any help at all, feel free to reach out to our support team at the phone number or email on the screen. We are here and we are more than happy to help you out in any way that we can. If you're down in South Florida, hopefully you stay safe the next few days. Hoping for good weather for everybody. Feel free to reach out if you need anything. And thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your afternoon.